Chicago, a city that glitters by day and bleeds by night. They say it's a city that never sleeps, but for some, it's because the nightmares never stop. For decades, the same sirens that promised safety became the sound of fear. And for one man, that sound would mark the beginning of his longest night. His name was Darnell Brooks, 22 years old, a mechanic with callous hands and honest dreams. He worked late, fixing engines by the light of a flickering bulb, saving every dollar to open his own shop. But one summer evening in 1998, everything changed. A police cruiser pulled up outside his apartment. Two officers stepped out. One of them was Detective Raymond Doyle, a man known across the South Side not for justice, but for power. They said Darnell fit the description of a robbery suspect. No evidence, no witness, just the color of his skin and the wrong place, wrong time. He was taken to precinct, thrown into a cold room with no windows, only a metal table and a single, blinding light. "Sign this," Doyle said, sliding a paper across. "It's your statement. Do that and you'll go home." But Darnell hesitated. "I didn't do anything." Doyle leaned in close. His breath smelled like coffee and contempt. "Oh, you'll talk," he whispered. They all talk. That night, Darnell learned the true meaning of fear. Hours passed. Threats turned into blows. His ribs cracked, his face swollen. The walls echoed with cruelty disguised as authority. By morning, his signature was on the confession. A confession to a crime he didn't even understand. And just like that, his life was gone. 17 years. That's how long Darnell spent behind bars. 17 birthdays. 17 Christmases. 17 years of being called a criminal by a system that never saw his humanity. But while his body was trapped, his spirit never broke. He started reading law books in the prison library, learning every page, every case, every right that had been taken from him. He wrote letters, hundreds of them. Most went unanswered. But one reached the desk of a young attorney named Maya Robinson. Maya was new, overworked, underpaid, but fierce. The daughter of a social worker and a pastor. She'd grown up watching her community crushed under the weight of injustice. When she read Darnell's letter, she saw more than a case. She saw a mirror. She visited him in prison. He looked older than his age, eyes tired but sharp, voice steady. "I don't want sympathy," he said quietly. "I want my name back." And that was the moment Maya made a promise, to him and to herself. She was going to uncover the truth. For months, she dug through dusty boxes of files buried in the city archives. One name kept appearing again and again. Detective Raymond Doyle. Dozens of confessions, all written in the same handwriting, all involving black men from the same neighborhoods. Maya realized what Darnell had always known. This wasn't a mistake. It was a system. She brought her findings to court. The city lawyers laughed. "Miss Robinson," one of them smirked, "you have no proof of misconduct." These men confessed. But Maya didn't back down. "Confession under torture isn't justice," she said firmly. "It's a crime." The courtroom went silent, and then she played the tape. It was a grainy recording from an old evidence box. On it, Doyle's voice was clear. "Make it easy for yourself, kid. Everyone talks eventually." Gasps filled the room. Every word dripped with arrogance, cruelty, and proof. Within weeks, new victims came forward, men who'd spent years behind bars because of the same detective. The truth spread like wildfire. Chicago couldn't hide anymore. When the verdict finally came, the jury awarded $35.6 million in damages, not as a handout, but as an admission that the city had allowed injustice to live unchecked. Reporters rushed to Darnell outside the courthouse. "How do you feel?" they asked. He didn't smile, didn't cheer. He just looked at the cameras and said softly, "No amount of money gives back time, but at least now they have to see us." Behind him, Maya stood quietly. The crowd was cheering, but her eyes were wet. "Justice costs," she whispered, "but silence costs more." That night, Chicago was loud, sirens laughed her life. But in one small corner of the South Side, Darnell sat in his mother's old house, staring at the wall where his graduation photo once hung. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. For the first time in 17 years, he felt free. This story isn't just about one man. It's about a city forced to look at the wounds it tried to hide. It's about truth, the kind that refuses to die, even when buried. And it's a reminder that power unchecked is power corrupted, that even the smallest voice can echo through history, because no badge, no system, and no lie can bury the truth forever. Justice delayed is not justice denied. If someone refuses to give up,